Hey everybody, you're watching Talking Habs, the home of Habs hockey, where everything is dedicated to the Habs and all things hockey. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Marc Edouard Vlasic and whether Montreal should trade for him or not and spend to the cap at the same time. To get more of my content like this, subscribe and ring the notifications bell, and that is right down there. And leave any comments that you may have also right down there. Okay, so there is a rumor out there that Montreal is interested in acquiring Marc Edouard Vlasic from the San Jose Sharks. We don't know in exchange for what, but apparently they've been checking him out and inquiring. So everyone wants, making trade deals. You see who their people think that they should give up and all that stuff. For me, should Montreal be doing this? And my opinion, no. We don't need another aging defenseman, and this is not a knock on Vlasic, but I mean, he's 32 years old. He is signed for 7 more years at $7 million a season, so that brings him to 39 years old when the contract is done. He's apparently had it a little bit the last season and a half. He hasn't been up to par. So are we bringing in somebody along the lines of Shea Weber? I don't think he's as good as, but do we need two guys in this position where they're in their early to mid 30s with long-term deals at big money? And I say no, because you can't spend, that's going to make us spend to the cap. Unless San Jose is going to take $7 million in contracts back, I don't think so. And even if they take Alzner, well, that might make a difference. But that's about the only thing. Take Alzner straight up. That's what I say. But it's not a good deal. It's not good to spend to the cap. Now, on that note, if you watch my videos, I've said all summer they shouldn't spend to the cap. It's not a good idea. They can't spend to the cap. They need to save money to sign players later on and for other things. And then I was watching Tim and Sid this morning, one of their videos, and it was about Jesperi Kotkaniemi. That was the title, and I think of doing a video about Jesperi and his ice time and stuff like that. Thinking about it, so I watched the video, and they talk about it for a minute. Brian Burke is on there, and they move on to another topic, and that topic is salary cap issues for teams. Because John Tavares has just been recently injured, and he looks like he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. And Toronto is pretty much up to their neck in the cap, and they don't have room to bring anybody up. And Toronto might have to play with 19 players instead of 20, because they can't bring a player up even at minimum. They can't. And apparently, Burke was saying that there are 8 teams right now that if this happened to them, they couldn't bring up a player even at minimum salary. So what do? They're going to have to ice a team that has less players. They're not going to have a full lineup. And apparently there's another 12 that couldn't bring up 2 guys at minimum. So $1.5 million in salary, that's all the room they got. And that's not enough if you get an injury. The way the LTIR works is that a player who is injured, in order to place him on there, he has to sit out 10 games, whether he's ready to come back before or not. When you're on the LTIR, it's a 10-game minimum. So if you put John Tavares on the LTIR and he's ready to come back in 2 weeks, 6 games in, say, 5 or 6 games in, then those, you can't. And those 3 games, you don't have Tavares, and yet he's healthy. So this is a problem. And this is why I said, if Montreal did that, what happens? So what happens if Price gets hurt and he's out for a couple of weeks? What are we going to do if we're up to the cap? We can't even bring in a backup goalie. Now, I don't know. Maybe there's a provision for that because it's a goalie. I don't know. That is a possibility. But another case, Weber goes out. He's out for, 2 weeks. Under 10 games, you can't put him on, or you don't want to. Then you can't bring up a replacement, and this is a problem. So anybody that watches my videos we need to spend to the cap, we got to sign this guy and sign that guy. This is why you can't do that. Not only because then when Domi's contract needs to be redone, when everybody, all the kids you have no money, you have to trade players, you have to get rid of players, you got to bring in guys on minimum contracts that aren't as good as the guys you had to get rid of. This is no good. So it's starting to happen this season where teams really are, and they can't do anything if they get an injury. And so I'd like to know what you guys think about that. Should Montreal have gone out and put themselves in this position, or are you happy that they didn't? What do you think about the possibility of Marc Edouard Vlasic coming to Montreal? And yeah, just what you think about the salary cap and what I've been saying. So you can leave any comments in the comment section. I really appreciate that. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe and ring the notifications bell, because while you're down there giving the thumbs up, you can just hit the subscribe and the notification bell if you haven't already. So I appreciate that. Thanks, everybody. I'll be doing a preview very shortly, depending on when you're watching this. And the game is tonight. I'll be covering that and doing a review after. And if you this is Saturday, so if you watch my Saturday night Hockey Talk live stream, it's going to be a little early tonight at 7. I'm going to do this at 7 o'clock because of the early game. So thanks for watching, everybody. Go Habs, go! Bye, y'all.